Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. Got a great show for you here today between the Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros. First pitch is going to be here in just a couple minutes, so let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Monday, everyone. Just players in the game, offensively and defensively, it is Cole Young. And on the right, one of the best power hitters in the game, Yordan Alvarez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, Brendan Donovan. Batting second, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, playing first base, it's Nails Josh Naylor. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting eighth, DHing the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. And batting ninth, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 4-2 record, ERA of 2.94, it is George Kirby. And now let's quickly get into the starting lineups here for the home Houston Astros. Leading off for the Stros at second base, Jose Altuve. Batting second, DHing tonight, Yordan Alvarez. Batting third, playing third base, Isaac Paredes. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Christian Walker. Batting fifth, playing left field, Zach Cole. Batting sixth, playing right field, Cam Smith. Batting seventh, playing center field, Bryce Matthews. Batting eighth, second baseman, Braden Shoemake, as first pitch gets in there for a strike to Brendan Donovan. Batting ninth, catcher Christian Vasquez. And on the mound for the Stros with a 2-2 record, ERA of 2.42, Peter Lambert, who's on the mound now. And a little slow dribbler towards third, down from the knees to first, and down goes Donnie with a ground out. Great defense there at third base by Isaac Paredes, making a play from the knees. And again, an easy out there quickly on Brendan Donovan. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Julio, fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Let's go, J-Rod. We're going to need you today. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 0-2 pitch. Little dribbler towards third base and just foul. Slider 85 miles an hour there by Peter Lambert. Peter Lambert on the mound. Julio Rodriguez in the box. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. AZ in the building. What's good? All day in the building. What's good? 0-2 pitch. Low and away. Good patience there by Julio. Change up 87 miles an hour. Missing by Lambert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the first inning. 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Astros. Dark Passenger in the building. What's good? Daniel in the building. What's good? Little pop up there by Julio. And shallow right field. Great catch there by Cam Smith. And that is 2 away. Great play there by Cam Smith in right field with the diving play. Next up in the 3-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. First pitch to Naylor, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Lambert on the mound, Josh Naylor in the box. Oh, 1 pitch from Lambert to Naylor, low and away. Slider 86 miles an hour, missing there by a few inches. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Astros. 1-1 pitch, high and away. Change up 86 miles an hour, missing by a few inches there. 2 balls and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Let's go, Nails. We definitely need you to continue to stay hot. 2-1 pitch. And Naylor pops it up. Should be a routine play here for Houston in the outfield. And that is out number 3. Naylor pops up, and that is it for the Mariners in the top of the first inning. Great play out on the defensive side for the Houston Astros, but hopefully we'll be able to get a few to drop at some point in the game. Nice catch there by Bryce Matthews on Josh Naylor. Now let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Houston Astros. And I apologize, I didn't get a chance to get in about 5 to 10 minutes earlier than first pitch, but I was busy making thumbnails for the 4 games in this particular set, so it took me a little bit longer to get going. Leading off for the Astros at second base, Jose Altuve. Batting second, DHing today for the Stros, power hitter Yordan Alvarez. And batting third at third base, Isaac Paredes. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, 4-2 record, ERA of 2.94. It is George Kirby. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're 92 subs away from 24,100. See if we can make some ground on that here tonight. Looks like we gained 2 subs since the beginning of the broadcast. Appreciate that. 90 subs to go to 24,100. As we're going to the bottom of the first inning, we're still knotted up here at 0. Let's see where we're at on the likes here early. Looks like we're at 15. 85 to go to hit 100. Odin in the building. What's good, brother? Hope you're doing well. How's Monday Night Raw going? Had a birthday a few days ago, and I figured that you've been pretty busy over the last few days. And I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for your support. Oh, did you? I know a lot of people did, and again, I know that not everyone ended up watching the PLE over the weekend. It just, kind of stinks, for people that love wrestling as much as you and me, that we're starting to kind of pump the brakes, maybe on WWE, but not on some of the other federations. But thank you so much for the late birthday love, where he hit our first dono goal just with Odin alone. First pitch is high and away. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Line drive by Altuve. Dribbles in front of Julio Rodriguez in a big single right off the start here for the Houston Astros. Thank you so much for that love, man. Odin Son with a $100 dono, getting us to our goal on one individual right out of the gates. I appreciate that. Our next goal will be 200. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, all the support and love over all these years. And again, we didn't win on my birthday stream against the Royals, but we had some really good support. And thank you so much for coming through. And again, maybe one day in the future we'll both be able to watch. Some wrestling together, if not WWE, maybe some AEW from the West Coast to the East Coast, from Oregon to New York. Love you and appreciate you. 1-0 pitch, fouled off there by Yordan Alvarez. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Alvarez, and hopefully we'll be able to get a strikeout and a double play, or maybe even a double play and a strikeout, which isn't really ideal, for obviously Houston early on, but for us, we'll take double plays any way we can get them, even though usually they'll happen second inning and beyond. It's not really common to get a double play in the first inning for us, but you never know. Bottom of the first inning, Altuve at first with no outs. 1-1 pitch from Kirby, high and inside. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Furious George. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Astros. But we'll still be able to watch some college football and some NFL as we go deeper into the year in the fall. And again, if there's anything that's worthwhile watching, AEW or one of the other federations, you just let me know. And as long as I'm not streaming, maybe we can end up watching along. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, out of play. Four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour there by George Kirby. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yordan Alvarez. Odin Son, you are the MVP. 2-2 pitch, little slow dribbler. Give me that double play. Cole Young, JP, right back to Naylor. And look at that. We don't typically get double plays in the first inning. You ask for it, and you may receive it. There we go. Big double play there for George Kirby. And again, when we can get that defense, rolling like they have been as of late, it really does make a difference for the Seattle Mariners. Great job there. Cole Young to JP Crawford to Josh Naylor, and that is 2 away. Great job. Next up is Isak Paredes. Little dribbler on the first pitch, and it gets past Brendan Donovan, and that is foul. Great diving attempt, but luckily that ended up going foul and not fair. Second pitch in there for a ball, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Paredes. 1-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. Change up, 89 miles an hour there by Kirby. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Paredes. Yeah, I figured you were watching a lot of the bare knuckle as well as JCW. Oh, man, that'll be amazing. Arrowhead. I can only imagine. You've never been before, right? 1-2 pitch. Popped up into right field. Fading out of play. Just out of range for Luke Raley there in about the 3rd or 4th row. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Astros. And we got a lucky double play to, kind of get the ball rolling for the defense after Altuve had a nice single up the middle to Julio Rodriguez. 1-2 pitch from Kirby and a hard hit ball that goes into right field, right in front of Luke Raley. And a couple early hits on George Kirby, which is a little concerning, but as long as they don't have any RBIs or home runs, we'll be just fine. Nice job there, Isak. I see you. Next up, cleanup hitter, first baseman, Christian Walker. First pitch to Christian Walker. In there for a strike, high and away, 0-1 count. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by George Kirby. And I always look forward to this particular series. This is, something that I think everyone knows. Mariner fans don't like Astro fans. Astro fans don't like Mariner fans, and, vice versa and whatnot. And there's a lot of, fans that aren't really up on the Astros for a number of reasons. But again, I always look forward to the rivalry, even getting past the scandals from the past. And, usually we go to battle and we go to war, and hopefully we'll be able to do, somewhat decent here on the road since we have the Padres next at home, and that will not be easy. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Christian Walker. Bottom of the first inning, runner at first with 2 outs. 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Astros. 1-2 pitch to Walker. Big swing and a miss. There we go, George. That's what I like to see. So we get the double play and the strikeout, just like we asked for. And sometimes the sports gods will deliver. Nice job there by George Kirby, as well as the defense behind him. And let's see who's up next here for the Mariners as we go into the top of the second inning. Next up for the Mariners, in the 4-hole, catching, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. He's on a big slump, and hopefully it won't get to being, 0 and, 40. Obviously at this point, he hasn't got a hit, I believe, in like 9 games. So I think he's like 0 and 32 to 0 and 36 range. So again, at some point, something's got to give. Maybe moving him a little bit lower in the batting order, maybe to 5th, and moving Randy up to 4th could be possible, but hopefully Cal will get going. Next up in the 5-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena, and batting 6th, right fielder Luke Raley. A few games ago, ended up having a grand slam and a 3-run jack for a 7 RBI day against the White Sox a few days ago, and we're going to definitely need Luke here today. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Let's go to the top of the second inning, and we will see if Peter Lambert, 2-2 record, ERA of 2.42, will continue to have success, or if we will be able to wear him down at some point or another. Odin with a big $100 dono right out of the gates to get us to our goal early on. Thank you so much for your support, and hopefully we'll be able to hit our other goals with the subs and the likes here tonight as well. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss there by the big dumper. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cal Raleigh. One pitch, hard hit ball by Cal, and fading foul. Now, if that would have been fair, that would have been a home run and exactly what we needed. And, we got to just get the timing down with Cal Raleigh. He's been a little off, and, hopefully things will get a little bit better. Pitch fouled off high and away. And another ball there to Cal Raleigh, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Lambert to Raleigh. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Low and at the knees. And again, Cal's timing has just been a little off, and I think he's in his head as well. I believe the game is on, obviously on Mariners TV. I'm not sure if it also is split on FS1 as well. I know one of the games was supposed to be on FS1 with MLB TV or Mariners TV, but I'm not sure if it was this one. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch in there for a strike to Randy, 0-1 count. One pitch. Randy fouls that one out of play. Slider 84 miles an hour on pitch number 1. Changeup fouled out of play. 87 miles an hour there by Peter Lambert. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. 0-2 pitch, little blooper into shallow right field, bouncing right in front of Cam Smith, and we'll take that. And again, it's been kind of a popular spot for a few balls to land lately for not only the Astros, but the Mariners. And a nice job there by Randy, getting a nice bloop single into right field. And we know how good Cam Smith is in right field, offensively and defensively. So got to make sure we take advantage of our opportunities on these base hits that get past the infield. Next up in the 6 hole, right fielder Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. Let's see if we can get a nuke. And Randy dancing around from first and second and then gets back. The last thing that we need is to get too cute, on the base paths. It's not like it's very common for us to get 3 hits in a row, and we want to make sure that we're aggressive, but we have to be smart, when we're attempting to steal bags so we don't get, caught falling asleep in between the base paths, which has kind of been a common theme for the Mariners this season. A lot of things have kind of gone a little bit sideways. First pitch is low and away. Change up 88 miles an hour there by Peter Lambert. 1-0 count. Throw to first and safe. Yeah, but I imagine most of the games are just going to be on Mariners TV. But I think, like I said, one of the 4 games, I believe, is also on FS1. Based on, I guess, depending on where you live, you might be able to pick that up. So, and you obviously have me here as well. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Lambert to Raley. And a shout out to our female viewership that's been growing through a very rapid pace within the last 2 years. As well as our international viewership, not only in the United States and Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. I appreciate every single one of you that are watching and supporting. It means a lot. 2-0 pitch. And another ball there to Luke Raley. Good eye and good timing there by Luke by being patient in the box. And now we got a 3-0 count from Lambert to Raley. Four-seam fastball high and away. 93 miles an hour by Lambert. 3-0 pitch, finally gets a strike there on the line inside. Four-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the second inning, 0-0 here early. 3-1 pitch, high and away. Randy was jumping for the stolen bag, and he probably would have gotten it anyways, but they decided to walk Luke Raley. And again, if we can take advantage of meltdowns, with some walks and guys getting hit by pitches but not hurt, and stealing a few bags, maybe even bunting a few times, we got to be able to take advantage any way that we can, especially only winning 1 game out of 3 against the Astros. I mean, you just never really know, what you're going to get. Sometimes the hitting is great, and then the pitching goes sideways. Sometimes the bullpen is bad and the defense is great, but hopefully it'll all come together here today. Next up is J.P. Crawford. First pitch to J.P. ends up being a ball. 1-0 count. High and away with a slurve ball. Slider curve, 79 miles an hour there by Lambert. And that has become a little bit more of a popular pitch within the last 2 years. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Good eye here by JP. And if we're just patient here, we might be able to manufacture, something, a little easier than normal. If we can end up getting a few guys walked here early and then eventually that big home run or that big RBI, there is an opportunity here that we might be able to put up 1 to 3 runs, depending on if we can get to the next few batters here after JP. Next up is Dominic Canzone, and then after that would be Cole Young. Two-0 pitch in there for a strike to JP. Fouls that one off right down the middle. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour. Two-one pitch, high and away. Great eye there by J.P. Crawford, not chasing, on those bad pitches, having that discipline. And we know that the Astros have really struggled pitching, this year. So again, why, let them take advantage of us by, getting out early, a few couple pitches, let them get their pitch count up, and eventually good things will happen. 3-1 pitch right down the middle for a strike. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. mean, you don't want to play into the opponent's hands. Their pitching is bad. You don't want to be getting a bunch of easy outs for them, with pop-ups and ground outs in the first 2 pitches. Work the count, and good things will happen. 3-2 pitch to JP, and JP Crawford, line drive into right field, but Cam Smith is there, and runners cannot advance. Cam Smith has got a hell of an arm. He's kind of like Julio, even though he plays in right field. He's very athletic, good hitter, and a guy that can make plays. So unfortunately, the runners stay put at first and second with that line drive that doesn't fall down there for JP. And next up is Dominic Canzone, the Italian stallion. On deck, Cole Clutch Young. Come on, Canzone. Let's go, Dom. First pitch in there, right down the middle for a strike looking to Dominic Canzone. 0-1 count. Come on, Dom. Dom is definitely due for a big home run, at some point or another. He's definitely very streaky like Luke Raley. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball into left field, and it drops. Here we go. And runner is coming home safe. Look at that. Beautiful hit there by Dominic Canzone. And again, he's a very streaky player. And again, once he gets going early, this could be a big day for Dom where he gets 2-3 hits today. Nice job. Big RBI. And look at the gamble by Randy. Being a little bit overly aggressive. The throw was off. If they had a good throw at home, Randy probably would have been out by a mile. But it ended up, being in between, third and home. And once that player got that ball, there was no secondary throw to the catcher, and luckily Randy gets in there. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go. And next up is Cole Young, and Cole Young gets one into right field. Go, Luke, go! Go, Luke, go! And Luke is safe. Yeah! Let's go! Luke Raley. That's what I'm talking about. And we don't really get a chance to manufacture back-to-back-to-back hits often, or let's be real, even back-to-back hits. And when you can get back-to-back RBIs, that's what I'm talking about, baby. 2-0 Mariners. Cole Clutch Young strikes again. I love it. Great base running there by Luke Raley and Randy Arozarena, and it's not like it was by a long shot. I mean, there was no throw to Randy at home, but again, that Luke Raley, that was pretty close, but he got in there in time. And again, this is exactly what we need to do. Take advantage of a team that has been struggling pitching wise, and obviously, we can do that, as long as we're patient in the box. And again, I like this version of the Seattle Mariners. And again, we're going to be hungry, considering how we only won 1 game out of 3 against the White Sox when we probably should have won 2 out of 3 at the very least. But again, we can take out our aggression and our frustration here on the Astros. And again, they hate us, we hate them. And, we understand where that rivalry goes. 2-0 Mariners. Love it. Next up is Brendan Donovan. Now, if we can just get Donnie up to speed, and especially Cal Raleigh, and then everything will be, kind of where we need to be. First pitch, high and inside, slurve ball, 81 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Let's go, Donnie. I mean, Donnie's at least been able to get a hit, since he's come back from the injury. But he has had a lot of ground outs and pop-ups as well. Popped up and in left field, and that is out number 3. Donnie pops up and pops out, but not after. We get a couple big clutch hits by Dominic Canzone, singling to left. Randy Arozarena scoring. 1-0 Mariners. And then the next batter, first pitch, Cole Young says, you know what? Let me take advantage of that first pitch strike. Boom, gets a nice hit into the outfield. And Luke Raley hustling and diving in head first and getting those fingers across home plate. 2-0 Seattle. You couldn't have asked, for a better start here. Great job. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I mean, we already got a double play on them, early on in a strikeout, with George Kirby. And again, anytime you end up giving, the first hit up to Altuve, sometimes it ends up being a long day, depending on if Alvarez also gets a hit or Paredes and they start rolling, right? But we ended up shutting down that door and getting the double play. And again, we were able to take advantage here in the top of the second inning. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the second for Houston. Next up for the Astros, in the 5-hole, left fielder Zach Cole. Batting second in the 6-hole, right fielder stud, offense and defense, he can do it all, Cam Smith. And batting third in the 7-hole, center fielder Bryce Matthews. And on the mound for the Mariners, our top dog, as of right now, 4-2 record, ERA of 2.94. It is George Kirby. And again, it's not necessarily his strikeouts are up. His ground ball percentage has been up, and the defense behind him has been making a lot of plays, and hopefully that'll continue to happen. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 90 subs to go to 24,100. And we hit our $100 first dono goal by just Odin's son by himself with a big $100 dono. So our next goal will be 200. And let's see where we're at on the likes here so far early in the matchup. All right, we're at 46, 54 more to get to 100. Xavier in the building, what's good? Libra in the building, what's good? Minnie in the building, what's good? Missed you. AA in the building, what's good? 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Cole. Yeah, I mean, it's, more than likely going to happen. Cole will either be the starter for the American League or he'll be a backup, but chances are, as long as Julio keeps going as well, we're going to have a few all-stars, on the team this year. At this point, I'm not sure if Naylor will be able to make it, maybe as like an alternate possibly, but, it's probably safe to say as long as there's no injuries, Julio and Cole Young will get in, but who else will get in besides those two? We'll have to kind of wait and see. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, and down goes another Astro batter, Zach Cole, and that is 1 away. Nice job, George. Next up is Cam Smith. First pitch inside to Cam Smith, 1-0 count. George Kirby on the mound, Cam Smith in the box. They got Buhner obviously there. He lives in that particular area, so anytime we go on a road trip, he usually will come through. 1-0 pitch is high and away with the sinker, 2-0 count. 2-0 pitch, fouled off, out of play in right field there by Cam Smith. And again, Cam is one of those guys, he's kind of not a big name player, very kind of underrated, especially when you play with guys like, Altuve and Yordan Alvarez, but, he may not be as flashy as some of those other guys, but again, he definitely has a lot of effort, when he plays, and it shows, not only offensively, but defensively. And I can appreciate that because I love defense, and, anyone that can actually show me that they are a good two-way player like Cole Clutch Young or Julio Rodriguez, I'm going to definitely be, paying a little bit more attention to guys like that. Pitch fouled off, out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. Let him know, AZ. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. Let's go, George. Three-two pitch and rolls towards third base and foul. But we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. And then we got Bryce Miller making his MLB debut in 2026. So I decided, I normally don't put pitchers on the thumbs. I'm a little superstitious because it just seems like every time I did in the past, we would lose. But at some point, we got to start mixing in a few of the other pitcher thumbs instead of just having, Cal and Julio and Cole and a few of the others. So I'm definitely excited to be able to debut some of those. We'll have Wu on the thumb tomorrow, Miller on the thumb on Wednesday, and then we're going to probably roll with Julio on Thursday for the early morning game. So we got 3 games at 5:10 Pacific, and then 1 early one on Thursday, I believe around 11:10. So 3-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. But again, we do really good in morning and, early afternoon games. So I believe we're 10-6, so again, if we were able to end up winning that game yesterday, if Eduard Bizardo and Jose Ferrer didn't shit the bed, especially Bizardo, he was the one that lost it for us, and he's supposed to be our most reliable. Can't wait for Brash and Spire to come back, and I can't wait for Miller to get a chance to show what he can do, as well as bringing back Victor Robles, and we're still waiting on Cade Anderson and Colt Emerson in the farm system. 3-2 pitch, high and inside, and a rare walk there for George Kirby. You're not going to see him walk too many guys game in and game out. And Cam Smith walking to first. Next up, in the 7-hole, center fielder Bryce Matthews. And let's see if we can get another double play. I know that might be asking too much from the sports gods, since we already got one in the bottom of the first inning. But again, you never know. Again, we'll take anything that we can get. If we can get another slow dribbler, up the middle to Cole Young, a flip to JP, a throw to Naylor, and then we can just continue to play great defense, help George out when he needs it. He'll be able to get a few Ks, but we don't necessarily need him to get 8 to 10. He can get 4 to 7, and we can still win this game with a bunch of ground balls and pop-ups and a few double plays to help him out. First pitch to Matthews. High and away, 1-0 count. No one's going to want Castillo. So again, realistically, they'll move him into the pen, and that'll be best for everyone. For us fans, for the team, and for Luis. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike to Bryce Matthews. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0 Mariners. Because instead of having Castillo have a meltdown for potentially 6 innings, he might just have a meltdown for a half inning. And there's going to be times where he'll be able to get, 2 or 3 guys out and actually play well for a half inning. We don't need him to pitch more than 1 inning, but again, if it's just for 3 potential batters, that's going to be a lot better of a scenario for us, considering how bad he's been, going through, 6 innings and trying to be able to hang tough. But again, there has been a few innings where he's been good, where he's given up nothing. It's just not someone that can really put together a 6-inning stretch, consistently. He's usually good for only maybe 3 innings max, and then he usually has a meltdown in the 4th inning or beyond. So, hopefully Bryce Miller pitches well. They decide to put Castillo in the pen in a couple weeks. They are going to run a 6-man rotation for a week or 2 to kind of see test the waters, see how Bryce looks, and see how Castillo continues to struggle or get better, and then hopefully they'll make their move. So 1-2 pitch, low and away, sweeper, 88 miles an hour there by Kirby. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bryce Matthews. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down he goes. Down goes Bryce. Another punch out there for our boy, Furious George. And that is 2 away. Appreciate that, Minnie. Next up, for the Astros in the 8-hole, second baseman Braden Shoemake. And I'm really happy we got off to a good start, considering how that White Sox series, ended for us. It was not fun, especially when you feel that you are better than them. And, we've had really good performances from pitchers. Logan Gilbert's best start. We've had Emerson Hancock with 14 Ks. That was number 1, not only for the Mariners, but number 1 in MLB. And we couldn't win that game either. So, pitching isn't really the problem, besides Luis Castillo as a starter. He's really the only problem. The problem is Munoz and the guys in the pen, as well as sometimes the inability to hit. And again, we ended up doing great in game 1. But again, it shows you when we end up going against a lefty and we have a righty lineup, we struggle tremendously. 1-1 pitch from Kirby to Shoemake. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by George Kirby. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0 Mariners. But I would love to see Cole Young and Julio in the All-Star game, and then we'll see if anyone else is, worthy or deserving as the season progresses. Throw to second, and JP with the tag, and he is safe. And at this point right now, I mean, there's really three main concerns. It's Luis Castillo, Andres Munoz, and Cal Raleigh, right? And obviously Cal is in a huge slump right now. Mooney is not reliable, and Castillo is terrible. So, something's got to give. And we assume that Cal and Mooney will get better, but I'm not really confident that Castillo will. But if we move him into the pen, at least it'll give us something rather than nothing, unless they're, willing to, trade him or cut him. But I don't think that's going to happen. His salary is very high, so I don't think anyone's going to want to pick that up. And, going into next year, we'll probably not have Castillo or JP, and the team will be, suited a little bit better. Even though JP has been pretty damn good for us, but again, Colt Emerson is like a Cole Young. It's going to be a huge improvement, at shortstop. And again, once we have Colt and Cole playing together, Mariner fans are going to lose their minds. Let me tell you, he is awesome. I've been watching a lot of the games in the farm with the Tacoma Rainiers, as well as watching Cade, obviously in lower ball. Popped up into right field. Luke Raley is there, and that is out number 3. But again, once Cade gets called up, for a lefty and he ends up starting, unless they put him in the pen first, to help us out, which would be great. And then Colt Emerson can hit, he can defend. He's almost a mirror image of Cole Young. And again, having two young guys right next to each other with obviously Donovan at third and then Naylor at first. When we end up getting that put together, either later this year or next year, it's going to be one of the best infields in baseball, on top of one of the best pitching staffs. And then it's just about, figuring out the right combination of the guys in the outfield for the future, considering Randy's not very good in ground balls. And, we got Luke Raley, Dominic Canzone, Victor Robles in right, and even Lazaro Montez in the farm system can play right field as well. So we'll definitely see how it all turns out. But we are now going to the top of the third inning. 2-0 Mariners. Great start here for Seattle. Rick Riz, he loves it. 50th year anniversary here for the Mariners. 40 plus years on the radio. He is retiring this year. And again, we want to make sure we go out on top for Rick Riz and Dave Niehaus in baseball heaven. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. Our female viewership and international viewership have been skyrocketing through the roof. Appreciate you guys very, very much. 89 subs to go to 24,100. And let's see where we're at on the likes as we're trying to get to 100 sooner than later. We're at 100 on the dono train, 100 to go. All right, we're off to a pretty good start. We're at 63 likes. $37 more to get to 100. But again, if Bryce, ends up being good and we can move Castillo into the pen, then we're not really going to have any liabilities, to really worry about. We'll have confidence in every pitcher, that's in the starting five with Gilbert and Wu and Hancock and Miller, and obviously getting the job done, and Kirby obviously on the mound here today. So, and again, it's just about the bullpen, getting Brash and Spire back. Obviously the bullpen has, really hurt us lately, and hopefully Mooney can turn into the Mooney that we all know and love, not this weird version of Mooney that is having mental and physical issues, obviously with the grip on that slider, and, obviously mentally getting in his own head. You can definitely tell Cal, Andres Munoz, and Luis Castillo are in their head, and hopefully they can, let that kind of pass and get whatever help they need to kind of move forward and not be depressed, and, have that confidence and, swagger and aura to kind of get back to the players that they, were last season. 0-1 pitch, popped up by Julio and out of play. Back-to-back balls out of play there by Julio Rodriguez on a sinker, high and inside, and then a foul ball with a slurve ball. 0-2 pitch, back, gone! Julio Rodriguez, my man. Big solo jack, and that is a no-doubter, and it is 3-0 Mariners. Let's go. Yes, sir. 7th home run of the year for our boy Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up 414 feet, and this is exactly going the way that we all thought it could go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. The Astro fans have left the building. Let's go. And again, everyone's getting going. Julio's getting going. Naylor has been going. Now we just need Cal to be able to join the party and have Castillo and Munoz. They don't need to be great. They just need, to at least be average, and having ERAs of 6 and up, for your closer and one of your starters is unacceptable, considering how good they've been. And obviously Cal Raleigh, if he keeps struggling like he has been, he's going to end up going 0 for 40. And again, he's already been hitless in like 8-9 games in a row, even going back to the injury. So, at some point, we have to get Cal going, even if it ends up being a single here, a single there. I think every Mariner fan will take that. He has been walked here and there, but again, we need him to actually get contact and, start believing in himself again. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Josh Naylor. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 3rd inning, 3-0 Mariners. Let's go. And again, after what happened, with the White Sox and the Royals, and you just never really know what's going to happen. But again, we showed up against the Braves. And again, we always show up against the Astros, regardless if their record is good or bad. Same thing with the Rangers. But sometimes we, play down to the competition against teams like the Angels, the Athletics, and the Royals. And so, right now we have to be confident. They're not a good team this year. They struggle with pitching. We've taken advantage of them the last couple years. And again, they're our heated rival. And nothing makes me happier than beating the Astros. That's like the team that I want to beat the most out of any team that we play. And again, we got the Padres next. But again, we're not going to be on the road this time, so we won't get swept. 3 games on the road again. We're going to be at home. Mariners challenge, and Naylor loses that challenge, and that is 1 away. But again, hopefully we can win 2 out of 3 against the Padres at home. But again, realistically, it might only be 1 out of 3. So if we can end up winning 3 out of 4 here, or potentially doing a mop, aka sweep, and winning 4 like we did at the beginning of the year, that could really give us some momentum to get above 500. And then if we end up only winning 1 out of 3 against the Padres, it's not going to sting as bad. But who knows? If we end up winning 3 out of 4 or all 4, if that were to happen, maybe that'll give us the momentum to win 2 out of 3 against San Diego at home. And I know we're going to play better at home against the Padres than we did on the road. 1-0 pitch here from Lambert to Cal. And Cal pops it up and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Lambert. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. One pitch. Popped up. Should be a routine play. And down goes Cal. And that is 2 away. He got really overworked last season. And again, we were kind of shocking that he didn't end up, getting hurt last year. But, he's got to be able to fight through it. And I know he will at some point. It may, take a little bit longer, but eventually, it's not like he's going to get anywhere near 60 home runs, but he still has potential, to get 25 to 30 home runs. And again, if we can just get him going, instead of being on this slump, it could really help us with the offense. And we could definitely use as much offense as possible. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch, big swing and a miss there by Randy right down the middle. Change up 87 miles an hour. 0-1 pitch and a little dribbler that gets past the third baseman and rolls to left field. And Randy is hot here today with 2 singles already, going 2 for 2. Nice job, Randy. You might be a liability with your ground balls in left field, but pop-ups, you're good. And hitting, you've been one of the most consistent hitters on the Mariners, believe it or not, since the beginning of the season. Nice job, Randy. Next up, right fielder in the 6-hole, it is Luke Raley. 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, slid into home safe, head first, and ended up having a grand slam and a 3-run jack against the White Sox in Game 1. 7 RBI day. And that's not going to happen often. But again, Luke Raley is a very streaky player like Dominic Canzone. And hopefully Luke can throw a nuke up at some point in this series. Maybe even right here. First pitch. And Rayleigh with a hard hit ball. And that is going to be out number 3. Nice job there by Christian Walker. He could have ended up having the throw at second, but decided to go and toe tap the bag. Hell, he could have probably tagged Randy. He was right there. But again, we get the big Julio home run. And again, the offense is definitely rolling against the poor pitching Houston Astro team. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for the Astros. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Astros in the 9-hole, catcher Christian Vasquez. Batting second, 1-for-1, second baseman Jose Altuve. And batting third in the 2-hole, DHing power hitter Yordan Alvarez. And on the mound for the Mariners, George Kirby. Let's look at the stat line here real quick. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 41 pitches, 26 strikes. He's got his ERA to 2.83. And for Peter Lambert, 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks, 48 pitches, 33 strikes. His ERA is 3.20. And coming into the game, he was 2-2 with an ERA of 2.42. But thankfully, he's a righty, and we know that we struggle sometimes against lefties. And I'm just happy that we have 3 runs on the board. Canzone single to left, Arosarena scoring in the top of the second, 1-0 Mariners, and then Young singling to right, Rayleigh scoring on the next pitch, 2-0 Mariners, and then here in the top of the 3rd, Julio Rodriguez crushes a homer into left field, 414 feet, 3-0 M's. Trident's up, let's go M's. 89 subs to go to 24,100. All right, we're at 70, 30 more likes to get to our goal. Mike in the building, what's good? You know, and again, it's not like Cal is striking out left and right. You know, he, obviously has quite a few strikeouts, but at least before he strikes out, or pops up, that's kind of the common theme right now. I mean, he has been crushing, some baseballs into foul territory. So at least that's a, somewhat of a better sign than him just striking out, 30 times in a row and not even being able to crush anything close to a home run. So, I feel it's definitely, around the corner. Maybe he might have to have a game where he goes for a couple singles before that home run eventually happens, but it could end up being a home run that gets him going as well. 2-0 pitch to Vasquez, popped up into shallow center field, and no time for Julio to dive for it, and a 1-hopper to Julio's glove, and Vasquez with a single to center. Nice hit there by Vasquez. Next up is Jose Altuve. Now let's see if we can get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. We already got a double play in the first inning. And again, hopefully we'll be able to get a few of those to help Kirby out. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And again, we're going to have peaks and valleys. We're going to go through the ups and the downs, and, again, there's only really 2 good teams in the American League, the Yankees and the Rays, and there's 13 other teams that are kind of booty, right? They're all at 500, a game or 2 above or a game or 2 below, but there's really only 2 good teams out of 15 in the American League. And, over the last, maybe 15 or 20 years, we haven't really seen that before, where we only have a couple good teams and everyone else is struggling. And then in the National League, more times than not, they have half of their teams, usually around 8 or 9 out of 15 that are above 500, right? Padres, Dodgers, Braves, and everyone in the National League Central, which is shocking, right? Normally you don't see the whole division above 500, but again, it's been a weird year, and I know it'll even out at some point for the American League, but again, even though our record isn't great, we're actually still in a good position, to make the playoffs, and if not, win the division, get a wild card, even though it has been a very tough year for a lot of us fans. 0-2 pitch from Kirby to Altuve, low and away. Sweeper missing there by a few feet. 89 miles an hour there by George. One-two pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and inside. See you later, Jose Altuve. Nothing makes me feel great rather than seeing Altuve strike out, besides maybe Yordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, who's injured, or Jeremy Pena as well. Down goes Altuve. Nice job there by George Kirby, and that is one away. Next up is Yordan Alvarez. First pitch, takes a strike, looking with a sweeper right down the middle. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. And a laser towards first base and foul with that sweeper. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 3-0 Seattle. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And that's good, Libra. You're like me. Again, there are going to be a lot of, fair weather, bandwagon, I'm going to watch when they're winning only type of, fans. And there's also diehards and fanatics, that are going to watch no matter if we're good or bad. And, honestly, even if the team ended up, only winning, 10 or 15 games and, losing, 140, 150 plus, I still would watch. Again, it would be a hard watch. But again, once you're a fan of a team, you don't give up on them. And again, you're going to go through the misery and the pain, but when the team ends up getting good, you're going to end up feeling joy that you've never felt before. Again, being a bandwagon fan, you don't really feel that pure, genuine joy, because you get kind of numb to winning because you're a bandwagon and you always choose teams that win. But, when you're a true fan, like a lot of us, like Libra, myself, and a lot of others in the room, you can definitely go through those peaks and valleys. Big swing and a miss. Down he goes, and that is 2 away. Down goes Yordan Alvarez. Next up in the 3-hole third baseman, Isak Paredes. First pitch is low and away with a sweeper, 87 miles an hour there by Kirby, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, takes a strike, looking low and at the knees, but on the line. Sweeper, 86 miles an hour by Kirby. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Paredes. But I've been watching this team, since the mid 80s. There's people in the room that have been watching since the very beginning, in the 70s and whatnot. And again, regardless if you've been a fan since the 70s, 80s, 90s, or within the last 5 to 10 years, you have to be mentally strong, mentally tough to be a fan of a team of anybody in the Pacific Northwest. But one rule is very clear. If you're a fan of any team in Oregon and Washington, it may take a few years to, have that team be good. But once they're good, they're championship good. They may not win the championship. They may just get there like the Huskies did against, Michigan. But again, we build teams the right way. And again, sometimes you just have to be patient and have things come together like the Seahawks last season. Again, we're going to have the Sonics back pretty soon, so we'll have that Sonics-Blazer rivalry with the Lakers as well. Obviously the Kraken are getting better, so it's a very interesting time, to be able to see the Huskies and the Cougars and the Ducks and the Beavers do their thing as well. But, Seattle Mariner baseball is definitely in a good place, and it's only going to get better. 2-2 pitch, popped up behind the plate. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Paredes. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 3-0 Seattle. 2-2 pitch from Kirby. And a little blooper into left field, falls in front of Randy, in play. And now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs, and we got to nip this very quickly and get this last out. We don't want them to get to 1 or 2. And hopefully we get a really quick out here on Christian Walker. Come on, George, settle in, my man. Kirby on the mound, Christian Walker in the box. And we got a mound visit here from Cal. And even though Cal hasn't been able to, get going offensively, we could still, use his leadership. And, hopefully his ability to throw guys out will get a little bit better as well. Again, he's definitely in his own head. And it's the biggest slump he's ever had in his career, even going back to Florida State in college. So it's just a matter of time before he gets going again. And, hopefully we'll get him, Mooney, and Castillo going in a better direction than they have here in the first, 40-plus games. So we're a quarter of the way through the season, so still a long ways to go. We got 75% of the season left, and a lot can happen, between, now and then, especially after the All-Star break. As everyone knows, right, after the All-Star break, the Mariners are usually one of the hottest teams, not only just in the American League, but in baseball. And imagine if we have Robles, Miller's playing well, Castillo's in the pen, and then we finally call up Cade Anderson and Colt Emerson. I mean, it's, the vibes are going to be incredibly high. And again, anyone that hasn't watched or heard of Cade Anderson or Colt Emerson, you're in for a treat. Popped up into shallow left field and goes back into about the 10th row for a few Astro fans there. Great souvenir for them. 0-1 count. Bottom of the third, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 3-0 Mariners. And let's see if Kirby can get out of this mini jam that he's got himself into here. 0-1 pitch to Christian Walker. Fouls that one off. No balls and 2 strikes to Christian Walker. Yeah, and there's a good chance that Kevin Durant will come back to the Sonics. He is publicly interviewed and said that he would love to retire to the team that drafted him. And his contract will be up around that time. So there is a good chance that, KD will be back and he'll still be relevant. He'll be better at that age than LeBron, at this point in his career. So 0-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. And obviously that would be, I think, good for Sonic fans. And, he wants to come back. The fans want him back. And, that will definitely put more butts in the seats, having KD, play his last few years, there in Seattle. Bottom of the third inning, 3-0 Seattle. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 0-2 pitch here from Kirby to Christian Walker. Big swing and a miss. Got him. There we go. And we leave them 2 stranded, and that's exactly what we need. End of the third inning, 3-0 Mariners. Rick Riz, he loves it. And we're going to get a few Astro fans here in the building that, obviously have some respect for some of our guys like Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson, Edgar Martinez, Ichiro Suzuki. And, again, when you end up being 7 years old and you're in first grade and you end up meeting Ken Griffey Jr. and that he's going to turn into one of your heroes, even at an early age, definitely a special time for me. And, again, nobody at my school, ended up meeting anybody as famous as Ken Griffey Jr. And, he is my hero besides my dad. And, I've collected a lot of memorabilia over the years. And again, if I don't meet Ken Griffey Jr. when I'm 7 and Sandy Koufax when I'm 10, who knows if I'm here doing this channel. Maybe I'm doing, something different like video games or something else. And, it definitely was a special time in my life. I almost remember it as if it was yesterday. And, again, it definitely changes you for the better. And again, I got to really thank my dad for giving me an opportunity at 7 to meet Ken Griffey Jr. and then at 10 to meet Sandy Koufax. And again, my dad grew up in Hawaii and LA and ended up watching, Koufax in Drysdale in LA before he moved to Oregon here. And again, it definitely a very special time for me growing up as a kid. All right, let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners in the 7-hole, 0-for-1, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 1-for-1 with an RBI, the Italian Stallion, DHing Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 1-for-1 with an RBI, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. And again, if he keeps playing the way that he's been playing lately, we're going to get Cole Young and Julio Rodriguez in the All-Star game, and maybe even a 3rd or 4th guy, depending on how the season continues to roll. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 89 subs to go to 24,100. First pitch in there to JP, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, takes another strike looking there. No balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. 79 likes, 21 to 100. We're almost there. Oh-2 pitch from Lambert to JP, low and at the knees. Slider 84 miles an hour. Peter Lambert on the mound. JP Crawford in the box. That's one thing, most Mariner, players that we draft or that are on our team, they're really well respected, on and off the field, and they're good human beings. You can just tell watching Harold Reynolds on MLB, anything that he ends up reporting on, he just comes across as a very genuine, likable guy. And a lot of other players are like that as well. Ichiro, Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Randy Johnson, even though people are intimidated by his height. And, we know Griffey and Randy are doing professional photography now at the highest level. And, I'm glad to be able to see them have success in that dream as well. JP grounds out to first, and that is 1 away. Next up is Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Let's see if the Italian Stallion can keep the rally going. First pitch, high and inside, four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Let's go, Dom. But this team is a hell of a lot better than it was, even a few years back. We have so many, quality players. I mean, I remember just, 5-6 years ago, we were striking out 15 to 20 times. This was pre-Julio, pre-Kirby, pre-Cal Raleigh, and, pitching was pretty good, but again, striking out 15 to 20 times a game wasn't, and again, you could get 10 Ks with your pitchers 1 through 5, but you might only score, 1 or 2 runs, and that isn't usually going to get the job done. So, we definitely have criticized the front office, a lot, but again, in the last couple years, they've actually done a good job, and they're definitely putting us in a position to, go further and further every year. And obviously, as we get into next year with possibly no Castillo and no JP, and then we're going to have Cade Anderson and, Bryce Miller, fighting for that one spot. And, with everyone else, it's the regular starters. And then Cole and Colt obviously playing there at second base and short. It's going to be a very exciting time, especially with the next draft coming up and everything else that we keep adding to this team. 2-2 pitch. Popped up by Canzone, out of play. Now, obviously, we could still use a few more quality guys in the pen and some better right-handed hitters. Those are the two weaknesses, that we definitely have when we go against a left-handed pitcher. We could definitely use a few more righty bats that are quality, as well as a few more guys in the pen, but eventually we'll get there. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. Nice punch out there by Peter Lambert, and that is 2 away. Down goes Dominic Canzone. Next up, one of my favorite players on the team, if not my favorite right now, second baseman Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. Be as clutch as ever. And again, I love what he does offensively. But again, the thing that impresses me the most is his defense. And again, he has saved us the most runs out of any player on the team this year. And again, they have all these stat nerd websites that go over every fucking metric that you can imagine. And Cole is at the very top for second basemen defensively in the American League and towards the top, even with National League guys as well. So, it's very exciting. And as long as he continues to keep getting better and better offensively, again, he'll end up being one of those guys that might be a perennial all-star, year in and year out. He just has to be consistent. 1-1 pitch. Popped up behind the plate and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Oh man, Roberto Clemente, that would have been crazy. Meeting Koufax and Griffey was surreal, and I can only imagine, meeting Roberto Clemente, and obviously his career ended short, obviously with the tragedy and whatnot, and I believe, a plane crash. And again, one of the best players to ever put on cleats in that day, no doubt. 2-2 pitch, high and away to Cole Young. Good patience there by Cole, not reaching. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young. Tried ends up. Let's go M's. 3-2 pitch. And Cole pops it up a mile. Will it stay in play? Looks like it will. And Vasquez makes the out. And that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for Houston. Next up for the Astros, 0 for 1 with a K in the 5-hole, left fielder Zach Cole. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, right fielder Cam Smith. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder in the 7-hole, Bryce Matthews. Tried ends up, let's go M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 89 subs to go to 24,100. We hit 100 on the dono goal, so we hit our first goal. Odin's son with a $100 dono just by himself. Next goal will be 200. See if we can add on a little bit on the dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 100. We should be approaching 100 likes here with 175 in the room. And it looks like we're at 85. We're almost there. 85 likes, 15 more to 100. Tried ends up. Let's go M's. It's awesome being able to, grow up and listen to, Vince Scully, and obviously me and my dad got, plenty of memories doing that as well. The best storyteller, not only in baseball, but maybe in any sport all time. I don't know if there was anybody that was a better storyteller. I mean, we've had, amazing, older gentlemen, the grandpas with like Vince Scully's and the Dave Niehouses and, the Harry Careys and a lot of different personalities and whatnot, but nobody was a better storyteller than Vin. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Zach Cole. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. And that is 1 away. Down goes Cole, and another punch out there for our boy, George Kirby. Nice job, George. And that is 1 away. Way to bring the electricity. And we're getting some good defense behind him as well. Next up, great two-way player, right fielder Cam Smith. Struggling a little bit this season, only batting .212, but it'll be closer to 270 to 300 at some point, you would assume. .1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Cam Smith. Back-to-back sinkers there by George Kirby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-0 pitch, foul behind the plate. Sinker at 95 miles an hour there by George Kirby. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cam Smith. We got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow, so we have to be confident based on how he pitched his last outing. And then we have Bryce Miller on Wednesday. Super excited about that, even though he might be a little rusty. He looked pretty good, with a few starts for the AAA affiliate, the Tacoma Rainiers. And then we'll have Luis Castillo on the last game on Thursday. And again, we know how typically things go when Luis is on the mound. But again, they're going to run a 6-man rotation for a week or two, and hopefully they'll realize, hey, Castillo needs to be in the pen as long as Bryce Miller doesn't have any setbacks. And we don't have any access to Logan Evans because he had a season-ending injury in spring training, which is a damn shame. 2-2 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. But with the lack of hitting game in and game out, we could use Colt Emerson, sometime between now and in June. And we could always put Cade in the pen first before we have him as a starter, because ultimately that's the goal. Cade will be our new number 5 and work his way up the rotation number as the years go on, kind of like we did with Brian Wu, how he moved from the 5 and now he's the 3. But, based on how Wu played last year, Wu probably should have been the 1 and, had the season opener instead of Gilbert, but eventually we'll get there. Maybe next year Wu will be the 1. Next up is Bryce Matthews. And hopefully we'll be able to get a double play here. 1 out and 1 on. And, it's not like Kirby is a guy that typically walks a lot. He's got 2 today, but he does have 7 Ks. So I think we can be okay with that. And we're still giving them the donut at 0. So we got to feel good about that as well. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. And we have a mound visit here with Cal, Brendan Donovan, and the crew. Bottom of the 4th inning, 3-0 Seattle. Runner at first with 1 out. Kirby on the mound, Bryce Matthews in the box. Kirby is pitching well. The bats are alive. The defense is good. We haven't had anything really negative so far here, and that's a good thing, considering how some of the series have gone for us lately, like the Royals and the White Sox series were not ideal, but the Braves series was great, and we probably should have swept them, if we didn't have a meltdown at the end of the game. So, and as we know, our bullpen is going to win or lose more games than any other position group in baseball, and sometimes they're great, and sometimes they are not. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Matthews. Two-one pitch, high and away. Sinker, 95 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Matthews. 3-1 pitch, fouled off. Tried to jam him and did. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Bryce Matthews. Power in the building. What's good? And we got a 4-game set, just like we did early in the year when we got the sweep, aka mop, where we ended up, getting 4 wins in a row against the Astros. But it'll be a lot harder this time around since we're going to have Castillo on one of those games. But you never know. Little dribbler right there to Cole Young, and no throw back to first. We get the fielder's choice, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by J.P. Crawford and Cole Young. Next up, in the 8-hole, second baseman Braden Shoemake. First pitch in there for a strike to Shoemake, 0-1 count. Kirby on the mound, Braden Shoemake in the box. And a little dribbler towards first base. And that is Out number 3. End of the 4th inning, 3-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Let's go to the top of the 5th and see if we can add on a little bit more. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2, third baseman. It's Brendan Donovan. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Has a home run already in this game. Can he do it again? We will see. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. To go from, being the second worst hitter in baseball and then to be one of the hottest hitters since April 19th, huge, definitely, jump in Naylor's game, not just with the leg kick, but also with his confidence and his timing. And let's see if Josh Naylor can keep it going as well. End of the 4th inning, 3-0 Mariners. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. 88 subs to go to 24,100. Shout out to our female viewership as well as our viewership in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. And we're at 94 likes. We're almost there. 6 to 100. We have 190 in the room. We're at 100 on the dono train so far. 100 to go. And shout out to Odin's son with a $100 dono to get us to goal on just one single dono. Shout out to Odin's son, one of the oldest fans that has been supporting the channel for many, many years. Shout out to Odin. Let him know, Ashley. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Peter Lambert on the mound and Brendan Donovan there in the box. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 65 pitches, 44 strikes, 3.08 ERA. And then with George Kirby obviously doing quite a bit better, he's at 81 pitches with 7 Ks, and we'll see how it all kind of progresses from here on out. First pitch takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off. Towards right field, out of play. Cutter, 90 miles an hour there by Peter Lambert. No balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Let's go, Donnie. Lambert on the mound, Donnie in the box. Oh-2 pitch to Donovan, and a little dribbler towards first. Should be a routine play. Toe tap on the bag by Christian Walker, and that is 1 away. Down goes Donnie. 1 down. Next up, one of the hottest hitters for the Mariners in the last, 20 plus games, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And again, we haven't really seen this version of Julio ever, in the first 4 years of his career. Just wasn't good in the first half, was chasing a lot of bad pitches. Timing was off. And now it finally feels that we're going to have a good, hopefully first half and second half out of Julio. And again, he was not very good in the first 10 games. But again, Cal, Naylor, and Julio were all in that same boat. And really, it was only Donovan and Cole Young that were holding it down early within those first few games. But Julio definitely has matured. And sometimes, if you end up playing 15 or 20 years, sometimes you hit your prime somewhere between year 5 and 10, usually. And this is year 5 for Julio. So again, it took him a little bit longer than a lot of us expected. But again, the heir apparent after King Griffey Jr. here in center field is doing a great job. Little dribbler towards third base, long throw to first, and Julio is safe. Look at the hustle by Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. Nice job there by Julio hustling to first after that dribbler towards third. I love it. Next up is first baseman Josh Naylor. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable only up by a couple as well. And we do know the Astros have issues with their starters and their pen. But again, how many games have we blown with our bullpen and our closer, right? Whether it be Bizardo or, Brash or Spire before they got hurt, or any of the other guys that are lower than those guys, or Andres Munoz, he's been terrible this year. So, and then every time Castillo, pitches, it seems like we lose. So it's like, we got a few guys that definitely need some big improvement, with a little dribbler here, double play, throw to first, and a nice double play there for Houston. And that ends the Mariners in the top of the fifth. But again, once we can get Cal going, hopefully that'll rub off on Munoz and then eventually to Castillo. But again, Castillo moving to the pen would be best for business, especially if Bryce Miller can stay healthy for the rest of the year and they don't have to worry about, going back and forth. And obviously Hancock has already proven that, he's one of the top three guys with, Wu and Kirby up to this point. And we have the best start out of Logan Gilbert yesterday, even though we weren't able to get the win. So, it kind of feels at the moment, we got 4 guys out of 5 that we trust besides Castillo as a starter. Hopefully we'll be able to trust Miller sooner than later, even though he might be, a little, slow starter, after this injury, just like Gilbert and Kirby were last year. It might take him a little bit, to get going, but hopefully he ends up being electric sooner than later. And, hopefully we can improve Cal and Mooney and obviously Castillo, and then a few of the guys in the pen as well. All right, let's go to the bottom of the fifth and see who's up next here for the Astros. Next up for the Astros in the 9-hole, catcher, 1-for-1, Christian Vasquez. Batting second, 1-for-2 with a K, second baseman, Jose Altuve. And batting third, 0-for-2 with a K, DHing in the 2-hole, Yordan Alvarez. And let's look at George Kirby's numbers going in. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 81 pitches, 52 strikes, 2.73 ERA. And again, magic number for the Mariners every game, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we're able to do that and have good pitching, usually we are able to compete, in any game. And obviously if we get above 5, more times than not, that it's going to equal you more times than not, as long as the closer or bullpen don't get meltdowns. We're at 3 runs, 6 hits so far with no errors. So we're on our way. Yanier Diaz, Jeremy Pena, Carlos Correa, Hunter Brown, Tatsuya Imai, and Josh Hader all injured. And again, Astros have had poor pitching and injuries. It's been, a double for them. And normally they're one of the top dogs, in the AL West. And, they're definitely feeling the pain this season more than in recent memory. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Sweeper 84 miles an hour there by Kirby. 1 ball and 1 strike to Christian Vasquez. 1-1 pitch. Vasquez grounds out to second, and that is 1 away. Good defense there by the Mariners, and down goes Vasquez. Hitting you with the John Cena, you can't see me, but I clearly see you. Next up is Jose Altuve. But we got Wu on the mound tomorrow, Bryce Miller on Wednesday, and I feel good about those 2 guys. And then obviously Castillo on Thursday. That's the big, what are we going to get there, And Altuve with a little bloop single there over JP, And again, most of the starts for Castillo, we only get 2 runs or less. And, it's not really doing Castillo any favors when we end up going against a left-handed pitcher. So not only does Castillo stink, if we go against a left-handed pitcher also when he's on the mound, then we have a weaker hitting lineup. So it's not really a recipe for success. It's almost a recipe for disaster. Every time Castillo plays, I think he's gotten 2 runs or less, 5 out of 8 starts. We've lost pretty much almost every time he's been out there. And, we don't really trust the bullpen after him either, because usually he puts us in a big hole, down 4, 5, 6 runs or more. So, but we'll find out, if we can win these first 3 games, maybe Castillo can finally have somewhat of a decent game, but I'm not holding my breath. First pitch to Yordan Alvarez is a strike, high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yordan Alvarez. Dave in the building, what's good? 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Yordan Alvarez. Bottom of the 5th inning. Runner at first, Altuve with 1 out. 2-1 pitch. Laser towards first base and foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yordan Alvarez. Yeah, nothing would make me happier than seeing Cal and Castillo and Mooney get better. 2-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first. Jose Altuve with 1 out. I mean, I'm not sure if we're going to get a slow dribbler up the middle out of Alvarez. He's more likely to hit a home run, get a single, or pop up. But again, you never know. Kirby has been forcing more ground balls, like 13% higher than last year. And a laser towards first base is fair. Altuve with speed running to third, and he will be safe. Runners on the corners now at first and third with 1 out. And this is the first opportunity the Astros have been threatening to score at the moment. Now we really need a double play to keep that runner at third. Back-to-back base knocks there for Altuve and Alvarez. And then we'll see if Isaac Paredes can get the job done. Hopefully we can get Paredes to hit into a double play up the middle. Little flip to Cole Young to JP to Naylor, and we can get out of this inning with still a 3-0 lead. And at the very least, 3-1. But we got a few guys in the pen warming up. Cooper Criswell is in there with Eduard Bazardo, who blew the game yesterday for us. If Bazardo plays well, we win the game, and he ended up giving up a couple runs. And Ferrer obviously is on paternity leave, and he wasn't very good either, but he didn't give up the main runs, even though he had bases loaded with him in the game. So, things need to get better. 0-1 pitch from Kirby. Dribbler up the middle. Gets past JP Crawford, and that's going to score a run. 3-1 Seattle. And again, if that's Colt Emerson, he probably makes that play. JP being a little bit shorter, a little bit shorter arms, shorter legs. That was going to be a tough ball for anyone, but we've seen JP make that play before. And that's a hard hit ball there, but just couldn't end up getting a glove on it. And that brings home Altuve from third to home. 3-1 Seattle, and hopefully that's it. We don't want them to score any more. First pitch to Christian Walker. High and away. Sinker at 95 miles an hour. 96 miles an hour by George Kirby. Bottom of the 5th inning. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Mariners up 3-1. And we've gotten back-to-back hits by the Astros. And that's what you need, to be able to get back into a game. Same thing with the Mariners, It's not easy to do. Little dribbler up the middle. Double play. Throw back. Fielder's choice, out at second. That is 2 away. And no attempt there for the double. And now we got runners on the corners again at first and third with 2 outs. Next up is Zach Cole. Kirby on the mound. Zach Cole in the box, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, and see what happens here. First pitch, knuckle curve, 83 miles an hour, right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, low and away. Knuckle curve again, 82 miles an hour on the corner. No challenge by Cal or George. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners on the corners at first and third and 2 outs. And hopefully we'll be able to keep this at a 3-1 game. 1-1 pitch. High and away. Sweeper missing there by Kirby. 85 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Zach Cole. And Kirby's approaching 100 pitches. He's at 99. Next pitch is 100. So this will be his last inning. 2-1 pitch, a little slow dribbler. Cole Young, as reliable as they come, and that is out number 3. And again, Cole Young has saved us the most runs out of any defensive player on the Mariners, and does it again. Nice job there by Cole Young. We give up 1, but it could have been much worse. The game could have essentially been tied if they were able to get on another rally there. And again, at least we stopped the bleeding momentarily, and let's see if we can get a run to make up for the run that we just gave up. Let's go to the top of the 6th inning and see who's up next year for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Would be great for Cal to hit a home run right here. Batting second, 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a run. Left fielder, Randy Arozarena, quietly having a very successful 2026 season for Seattle. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, right fielder, Luke Raley. Right ends up. Let's go, M's. Let's win it for Riz. 88 subs to go to 24,100. We're at 100 on the dono train, 100 to go. And let's see how close we are to 100 likes. I assume that we broke it already. Where are we at now? We got 195 in the room, and we should be over 100. We're at 112. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, we're at 112 likes. 88 to 200. And George did a great job. I mean, obviously, you want, players to be clean, and you want to hang on to a 3-0, 2-0, 1-0 lead as long as you can. But overall, fantastic job. I mean, considering we got guys like Luis Castillo and a shaky bullpen, anytime you end up having a great outing, you want to make sure you acknowledge it. And we like him going 6 and beyond, but sometimes you end up only going 5. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 99 pitches, 64 strikes, 2.84 ERA. Nice job, George. Peter Lambert on the mound, and the big dumper in the box. First pitch to Cal. Fouls that one behind the plate, out of play. 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And hopefully we can get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, because I'm not comfortable with a 3. I don't care if we're playing a team that has a lot of injuries and has struggled in pitching. It just seems like with the way the bullpen and Munoz has played lately, we need to get as many as possible. 5 to 10 runs is, really where we need to be at. And Cal pops up on the 1-1 pitch, and that is 1 away. Down goes Cal. Next up, with 2 singles and a run, left fielder Randy Arozarena on deck. In the 6th hole, right fielder Luke Raley, who had a grand slam and a 3-run blast with 7 RBIs in Game 1 against the White Sox a few days ago. First pitch to Randy, big swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Peter Lambert with the 4-seam fastball, high and away, 93 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Lambert on the mound, Randy Arozarena in the box. 0-1 pitch, low and away, bounces into the dirt and into the club of Vasquez. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 6th inning, 3-1 Mariners. And this is going to be a 4-game set, just like we had early in the year where we won all 4. A sweep in 3 games is a regular sweep. If you win 4 in a row, it's called a mop, according to Rick Riz. And again, we will have a chance maybe for that. But again, we're only on Game 1. And we do have Castillo pitching Game 4. So hold your breath there. But even winning 3 out of 4 against the Astros would be big, considering the next series will be at home versus the Padres. And last time we played them on the road this year, we got swept. So we need a little bit of payback against them, no doubt. 2-1 pitch, fouled off there by Randy. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Slurve ball, 80 miles an hour, slider curve. Again, a little bit more of a popular pitch within the last 2 years. 2-2 pitch from Lambert to Randy. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Lambert tried to jam Randy and did. Nice punch out there by Peter Lambert. And that is 2 away. Lambert, 5.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 81 pitches, 54 strikes, 2.89 ERA, coming into the game with a 2-2 record with an ERA of 2.42. Next up is Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. See if we can get a nuke out of Luke. First pitch to Raley, in there for a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle there by Luke Raley. No balls and 2 strikes from Lambert to Raley. Top of the 6th inning, 3-1 Seattle. 0-2 pitch to Raley. Low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Lambert to Raley. Right hand's up. Let's go, M's. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Luke Raley. Nice punch out there by Lambert, who's had a few struggles in this game. Astros 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. Mariners 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And again, let's see who's up next here for Houston as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Next up for the Astros, 0-for-0 with 2 walks, right fielder Cam Smith. Batting second in the 7-hole, center fielder 0-for-2 with a K, Bryce Matthews. And batting third in the 8-hole, second baseman 0-for-2, Braden Shoemake. And I'm curious to see who they bring in here, Cooper Criswell or Edward Bizardo. I think I would rather have Cooper Criswell come in since Bizardo shit the bed yesterday and lost the game for us against the White Sox. And not only lost the game, but lost the chance for us to win the series against them. And Bizardo is normally our number 1 besides Matt Brash, who is injured right now with Gabe Spires. So it's not ideal when you see a good player make a mistake. But that was the first home run that he gave up all year. And, worst possible time for that to happen. It's tough. It's like when you have the game tied or you have a 1-run lead, you want to feel good at the end of games, but things haven't really gone our way when we've been tied late or even with a 1-run lead. A lot of times with a 1-run lead, the game ends up being tied or we end up being down 1, based on a poor performance by someone in the pen and Mooney or Mooney and someone in the pen. But hopefully that won't be the case. And hopefully we'll be able to add on a minimum of 2 more runs before this one is over. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Great job by George Kirby again. And another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 87 subs to go to 24,100. We're at 117 likes, 83 to 200. First pitch to Cam Smith, low and away by Nick Davila, who wasn't even warming up in the pen. We had Cooper Criswell and Edward Bizardo, so this is interesting. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside, but Davila actually has looked decent, out of a lot of the newer guys that have been, getting called up from AAA or new additions, that we've got from other teams. 1-1 pitch fouled off behind the plate. Nick Davila on the mound, Cam Smith in the box. One-two pitch, a little dribbler up the middle. Cole Young is there. Throw to first. Off the one hopper and got him. God, he's good. I don't think people realize how amazing Cole Young's defense has been. I mean, he's been a better defender than hitter, and he's been able to get a lot of RBIs and win us games with home runs and big hits late. Nice job bailing out Nick Davila there, and that is one away. Keep it up, Nick. Keep it going. Next up is Bryce Matthews. Love me some Cole Clutch Young. First pitch, bunts foul towards first base by Bryce Matthews. Slider, 87 miles an hour by Nick Davila. And I can't wait for Brash and Spire to be back. We get Bryce Miller back for his MLB 2026 debut on Wednesday. And Victor Robles should be coming back to the team pretty soon as well. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Slider, 87 miles an hour there by Nick Davila. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bryce Matthews. Yeah, if he keeps trending the way that he's been trending, he's going to end up going like 0 for 40. You know, so he's already been hitless in 8 or 9 games. So not ideal. You know, he has been walked, you know, here and there, but, you know, he hasn't really been able to get going yet. And he was already on a little bit of a mini slump before he got hurt. And then after the injury, still hasn't been able to find the timing and the rhythm and the confidence just yet. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Nick Davila to Bryce Matthews. But he does have 7 home runs. So, I mean, it's not like he's batting 161 and he's got 0. So at least he's, you know, he's got something. He's pacing for, you know, somewhere between 25 and, 35 home runs. And it probably will be towards the lower number, you know, based on what we've seen at this point. You know, might be lucky to get even to 25 to 30 based on his pace right now. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 as it bounces away from Cal. Throw to first anyways, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by Nick Davila. Next up for Nick Davila, in the 8-hole, second baseman Braden Shoemake. First pitch, in there for a strike, high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch from Davila, dribbler up the middle, and just gets past Davila's glove, and nobody really in that general vicinity, JP or Cole. They were playing a little bit wide, and a nice base knock there for Braden Shoemake. Next up in the 9-hole, catcher Christian Vasquez, and we definitely need to get Vasquez out, and hopefully we'll be able to get another run or two here in the 7th and the 8th to give us the insurance that we're going to need, not knowing what we're going to get with the bullpen, or if they end up having Andres Munoz pitch. Jose Ferrer is not available, so we ended up making a call up this morning. He's on paternity leave for at least a game, and again, we got Cooper Criswell and Edward Bizardo there in the pen, and we'll see if we end up getting Munoz again or not. 1-0 pitch popped up. Shallow center field. Julio is there, and that is out number 3. No fly zone, baby. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez, and it's always good, when we have somebody that's new that does well in the bullpen. We've seen Davila, Hoppy, and a few others, even though we don't really have a lot of trust yet, but it's always a good sign when you're not giving up home runs or big RBIs. Nice job there by Nick Davila. End of the 6th inning, 3-1 Mariners. Now let's see if we can add on and make up for the run that we gave up in the 5th inning. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 1 for 2 with an RBI and a K, DHing the Italian stallion Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 1 for 2 with an RBI, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 87 subs to go to 24,100. We're at 100 on the dono train. 100 to go. Odin's son with a $100 dono right out of the gates to get us going. And And we're at 120 likes, 80 more to 200. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Uncle in the building. What's good? Yes, absolutely. I mean, considering we don't have too many guys that we can trust in the bullpen and our closer, anybody that gets in the bullpen or the closing position that does well, we have to be elated and thrilled. And again, we know that we got 4 guys out of 5 that we trust as starters. The only one that we don't trust is Castillo. So, but with Bryce Miller coming back, pitching on Wednesday, if he can pitch well, for his first 2 starts, then I assume then they'll transition Castillo into the pen, and that would be probably helpful for us. And he might actually help us win some games. Is he going to blow some games for us and give up a run or a home run or an RBI pitching in a half inning? Yes, but there's also going to be times where Castillo potentially could get 1, 2, or 3 strikeouts and help us continue our path on trying to win a game. JP with a little pop up there, dribbler, and toe tap on the bag there by Christian Walker, and that is 1 away. A little line drive there from JP. And grounds out to first, and that is 1 away. Next up is the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. First pitch, low and away with the slurve ball, slider curve by Lambert, 1-0 count. It's going to be essential for us to get to 5. No, amount of a lead as small as 1 or 2 runs makes any Mariner fan comfortable, including me. I think a lot of other fans, people, betting and, maybe that aren't familiar with us, might think, oh, you guys are easily going to win. But if you knew, what has happened with us, with our bullpen and our closer, you would realize it's not as easy as people think. 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. We need that insurance. 2-1 pitch, hard hit ball into left field, and just foul. Two-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Dom, and that is 2 away. Next up is Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Cole. Cole is definitely due for a home run at some point. First pitch to Cole. Low and at the knees, 1-0 count. I got Okert and Abreu warming up in the pen for Houston. One-0 pitch. Another ball there from Lambert to Young. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. RBI single in the second. 262 average, 3 home runs, 22 ribbies. And when you got one of the most ribbies on the team and you're a 9-hole hitter for the most part, even though they have moved him around somewhere between 5 and 9, he could even, lead off for this team. Yes, I know we got Brendan Donovan, but again, when he went down and they had JP, he did a pretty good job. But again, I think that they want to be able to have an opportunity to have like a 9-1-2, at the end of the game, and obviously sliding Cal down in the batting order and making sure we get, proper at-bats for Cole, Donovan, Julio, and Naylor is essential. 2-1 pitch, a little dribbler, throw to first, and that is out number 3. Unfortunately, Cole cannot get a hit there, and we are not able to add on to our lead. But again, at least we have a 2-run lead at the moment. And let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see who's up next here for the Astros. Next up for the Astros, 2 for 3 with a run and a K, second baseman Jose Altuve. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, DHing Yordan Alvarez. And batting third, 3 for 3 with an RBI, third baseman Isaac Paredes. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let's win it for Riz, baby. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. Shout out to our female viewership, as well as our viewership across the globe, United States, Canada, South America, Mexico, Asia, all over the globe. I appreciate you. 86 subs to go to 24,100. All right, we're at 128 likes, 72 to 200, and we're at 100 on the dono train, 100 to go. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And we got Cooper Criswell coming in. All right, hopefully Cooper Criswell will do as good of a job as Nick Davila. And we got to make sure that we hopefully can add on at least another run, before this one is over. Cooper Criswell has been pretty trustworthy, for the most part. So, 15 strikeouts, only 3 walks, earned runs 4, and again, came over from the Boston Red Sox. And again, we have our number 1 and our number 3 injured right now, Matt Brash and Gabe Spires. So we just have to try to stay afloat with the rest of the guys that we have, and then hope that when Mooney gets in, that he doesn't have a fucking meltdown, which it feels like he has about 80% of the time, that he's been out there. So he's blown a few games for us already, and we got to make sure that that doesn't happen here tonight. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, 2 balls and no strikes to Jose Altuve. Come on, Cooper. Two-0 pitch, in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jose Altuve. Takes a changeup, looking right down the middle. 2-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards third. Donnie is there, throw to first. Got him. What a play by Brendan Donovan. And if that's Leo Rivas, he probably doesn't make that play. Nice job. Even though Rivas has been pretty good, while Donovan's sick and hurt, but that particular play, I'm not sure if Rivas would have been able to get it there in time. Nice job there by Donnie, playing a new position, normally playing second and short in St. Louis and having to transition to third. Only had a few games that he played third base for St. Louis. And again, it's still going to be a learning curve. And again, great job there by Brendan Donovan. Yeah, Vargas is still injured. One-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yordan Alvarez. But again, once we end up having Brendan Donovan at third, Naylor at first, and Colt and Cole, in the infield there, it's going to be insane. 1-1 pitch. Hard hit ball by Alvarez. Deep right field, fading foul. One ball and 2 strikes to Yordan Alvarez. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-1 Mariners. Come on, Seattle. Trident's up. Sinker, 4-seam, and sweeper so far here by Cooper Criswell. 1-2 pitch to Alvarez. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Criswell to Alvarez. 2-2 pitch from Criswell. Big swing and a miss. Let's fucking go. Getting Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve out in a game is not easy. Even if the pitching woes have been a big issue for them. Those are two guys more times than not that are going to come up big on a regular basis. And even, number 3 hitter here, Isak Paredes, 3 for 3. Got to make sure we limit the damage here and make sure he doesn't go 4 for 4. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. But so far here, Nick Davila and Cooper Criswell looking pretty good with all things considered. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike from Criswell to Paredes. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-1 Seattle, nobody on with 2 outs. And again, we got a 4-game set here on the road and then a 3-game set back home against the Padres. And we know how good they are. They swept us in San Diego early in the year. We need payback. And hopefully we can win 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4 here against the Padres, but we got to take it 1 game at a time. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Criswell to Paredes. Little dribbler up the middle. JP is there. Throw to first, and that is out number 3. Yeah, we're going to do a 6-man rotation. It has been verified by the Mariners and Dan Wilson. So they're only going to do it for maybe a week or 2 to see if Bryce Miller can continue, and play the whole game and how he looks. And also depending on, how good or bad Castillo does. And then at some point, we assume Castillo will continue to shit the bed. And, I don't know how many losses that he needs to get before they need to realize, hey, maybe we need to move him into the pen. But again, does he have to go 0-8 with an ERA of 8 or higher? And then they finally, pull the plug, or do they end up doing it sooner? But we will be running a 6-man rotation for a week or 2 based off Dan Wilson. And then they'll evaluate from there. And then I assume, as long as Bryce doesn't have any injury and he ends up, pitching, his first couple starts, then at that point, depending on how good or bad Castillo is, then you move him into the pen realistically. And that would be probably better off, for us. So we don't have to worry about every time Castillo going out there, we're going to lose, and they haven't really done him a lot of favors either, because a lot of times when Castillo pitches, we end up going against a lefty. And so then you have a poor lineup that can't get any runs or hits for him, and he's giving up 4 to 6. So it's like you're not going to end up having anybody close the game out. And even if we were, it's not like Mooney's been very good lately either. So a lot of things have been going against Castillo this year. But again, it's not something that will hold us back forever. That's for sure. End of the 7th inning, 3-1 Seattle. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the top of the 8th. And let's see if we can add 1 more run here in the 8th and another one in the 9th if possible. And now Okert is coming in. All right, the lefty Okert is coming in. We know how typically things go when lefties come in. Okert on the mound. Brendan Donovan leading off. Batting second, Julio Rodriguez has a home run earlier today, which was awesome to see. Tried heads up. And then batting third, Josh Naylor. And I think it was a smart decision to slide Cal down in the lineup. And I think we need to slide Cal even lower. I think we need to put Cal in the 5 hole, not the 4 hole. Again, Randy has been a consistent good hitter. And again, we want to make sure, that Cal gets going. But again, Randy has been consistent. So if I'm managing this team, starting tomorrow, I slide Cal, down to the 5. He needs to be in like the 5 or the 6 until he proves that he can hit again. But we will see. But at least they made the smart move to slide him down a few spots. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Okert to Donovan. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Yeah, I mean, you can have him at the 4, but I mean, if Randy's going to be more productive, I would rather have him there so that way we can go on a rally. Cole Young at the 9, and then having Donnie, Julio, Naylor, Randy, you might actually be able to get 3 hits in a row with those, particular, 5 guys. But if Cal is in the mix of it, based on what's happened, it's not like he's doing anything right now, and it's not like set in stone. You can slide him down and, until he gets better, and then you can slide him back up when he gets hot. So 1-2 pitch, little dribbler right to the catcher, or the pitcher, Okert. Throw to first to Christian Walker, and down goes Donnie, and that is one away. And Donnie hasn't really been doing that great either, since he's come back from the injury. He's had like a walk here, a walk there like Cal, and he's gotten one hit. But again, he's still, not really where we need him to be at the moment. And again, it's hard to come back from an injury. People don't realize, it's a lot of times it's like when you come back, you may not be 100%. You're just forcing yourself back out there because you've already missed so much time. So, and we know baseball is very mental, right? You have to be mentally tough. And again, it's not only the physical part of the game, but mental. And baseball is very mental. And if you start psyching yourself out, you could end up going on a big, big slide like Cal has. It's a combination of both things, physical and mental. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Top of the 8th inning, 3-1 Mariners. Nobody on with 1 out. Stephen Okert, the lefty, in the game. Julio Rodriguez in the box with an 0-2 count, but he does have a home run early in the game. And he's been great this year. Besides the first 10 games, him, Cal, and Naylor were terrible, but Naylor was the second worst hitter in baseball, and now he's one of the hottest hitters since April 19th. And Julio, man, he's been incredible like the last, 15 to 20 games, batting in a range from 300 to 370. So this is the first time that we've seen Julio play well in a first half of the season. Now we just need him to continue all the way to the All-Star break, which is, I believe, July 14th. And as the weather gets warmer, the Mariners typically do better. 0-2 pitch to Julio. Big swing and a miss. That was one of the worst at-bats I think I've seen from Julio in a minute. Chased on 3 really bad pitches there, and everything, was low and at the knees besides that, first pitch that ended up being high and away. And, most of the time Julio has patience, but that particular at-bat was kind of reminding me of the bad at-bats that we've seen last year and obviously beyond that. And that is 2 away. Next up is Josh Naylor. First pitch in there to Naylor, in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes from Okert to Naylor. And it shows, when we watch lefties, it could be someone that has, a 0-5 record, an ERA of 10, and we still struggle. It's just like, left-handed pitching, even against our really good players, they have a hard time. Naylor with a little slow dribbler, throw to first, and that is out number 3. And then especially if you end up, taking out Canzone and Rayleigh, and then we bring in Refsnyder and Joe, once in a while, those guys will step up, but it's not going to be like, as consistent as some of the other guys. But definitely give kudos, to Joe and, Rob Refsnyder and, once in a blue moon, Mitch Garver, where they can do something. But we definitely need some better right-handed hitters. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning and see who's up next here for the Astros. All right, Paisley's in here to watch the end of the game, hopefully giving us some good vibes. Next up in the 4-hole, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, first baseman Christian Walker. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, left fielder Zach Cole. And batting third, 0 for 1 with 2 walks, right fielder Cam Smith. And I really respect Cam. His batting average is a little bit lower than it was last year. He's batting close to 200. He's at 210. But at some point, you assume he'll heat up. And I appreciate two-way players that can play good offense and good defense. And I'm curious to see if they're going to have Criswell come back out or if they're going to bring in Bizzardo or someone else. 86 subs away from 24,100. We're at 100 on the Dono train, 100 to go. $100 Dono from Odin's son, one of our oldest fans on the channel. Appreciate you. And Bizzardo is coming in. Hopefully he doesn't have a meltdown like yesterday. And we're at 139 likes, 61 to 200. Come on, Bizzardo. Don't give up any home runs or RBIs, damn it. First pitch from Bizzardo to Christian Walker in there for a strike. That's a good start. You know, anytime you end up having someone that has a meltdown, you can tell what they're going to be about in the first 7 pitches, especially a guy like Andres Munoz as our closer. 0-1 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bizzardo to Walker. And we don't even need Bizzardo, to get 3 strikeouts. It's like he can just get 1 and a pop-up and a ground out, or if we end up getting, in a mini meltdown and we get a double play, if that's what happens. But, it would be nice if we can leave the base runners in the box and not on base. But we'll see here. 2-1 pitch from Bizzardo to Walker. Low and at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike to Christian Walker. Not ideal. Only 1 strike on the first pitch and 3 consecutive balls here by Bizzardo. 3-1 pitch. And was trying to jam him and does. Fouls it off towards third base. Sinker 94 miles an hour. And again, you don't want to have, your guy come in the bullpen or a closer and have a fucking full count, in the first batter. Not ideal, but hopefully we can get out of this mini jam here. And I don't even care if he gets 0 strikeouts. Just don't give up any fucking runs. 3-2 pitch from Bizzardo. And a walk. Christ. Should have had Cooper Criswell just pitch fucking 2 innings or bring in like Alex Hoppe. And Bizzardo right now normally is our 1, since, Brash, who is normally our 1, is injured. Inspire, our 3, obviously is injured. So Bizzardo goes from the 2 to the 1, but, last 2 starts, kind of shaky. Blew the game for us yesterday against the White Sox and lost it for us. Can't do it 2 games in a row, my guy. First pitch in there to Zach Cole, in there for a strike, 0-1 count. More money needs to be spent in the offseason, for, right-handed bats, but especially our bullpen. It's like, it makes you kind of wonder why teams don't focus on the bullpen more. It's every team's worst position, group is the bullpen. It's like, instead of getting a backup right fielder and a backup first baseman, how about getting pitchers from other teams, and transitioning them into the pen, if they're starters, or just getting other pen guys to come to the Seattle Mariners. That would be the smart thing to do. We got plenty of, skill position players, but not enough bullpen. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Cole. Trident's up. Let's go M's. One-two pitch. There we go. That's a beautiful strikeout. Down goes Zach Cole. Nice job, Bizzardo. There we go, my boy. That is 1 away. Next up is Cam Smith. First pitch, big swing and a miss with that sinker, 93 miles an hour, 0-1 count. I mean, quickest way to get out of this inning, slow dribbler up the middle, give me a double play. Cole Young, J.P. Crawford, Josh Naylor, goodbye. But we'll see if that happens. Or we might be able to get another strikeout and a pop-up, or a strikeout and a ground out. 0-1 pitch from Bizzardo to Cam Smith. In there for a strike. This is a much better at-bat here for Bizzardo. Nice job painting that corner there, and they got Andres Munoz warming up. But I don't know. I mean, if that was Mooney from last year and before, we're excited. But this year, we're not very excited when Mooney enters the game. More times than not, he gives up a run or two rather than closing the game out and us winning. It's like a lot of times that we have to bat again because of him. And that's not ideal. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. Most games decided by 2 runs or less. Mariners are second highest, and our record isn't very good. 10-13, not ideal. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That's my boy. Bizzardo with a big punch out on Cam Smith. Way to bring the electricity after blowing the game for us yesterday against the White Sox. Nice job, Bizzardo. 2 away. And next up is Bryce Matthews. And let's try to get this quick out here. Maybe he'll swing at the first pitch and have a little slow dribbler, and we can end this here. Nice job, Bizzardo. We're going to acknowledge the mistakes, but we're also going to make sure that, we give kudos when they need to be given. Not only for the Mariner players, but for our opponents as well. First pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside. And again, first batter, shaky, but everything else since has been pretty good. Big swing and a miss there by Matthews. No balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Matthews. And that is strike 3. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. We don't need any negativity in here, baby. Nice job there by Edward Bizzardo getting the job done. And again, after blowing the game for us against the White Sox yesterday, ended up giving up the initial, walk. But again, after that, pretty clean. And that's exactly what we expect from our number one, considering, all things. No Matt Brash, no Gabe Spire, gave up a walk and then got 3 Ks in a row. Nice job, Edward Bizzardo. That's what we fucking expect. And honestly, if you brought Bizzardo back out in the 9th, he probably would be doing better than Mooney, but let's hope that Mooney can get the job done when his time is called. But let's see if we can end up getting one more run for insurance to get to 4. Obviously 5 would be the magic number. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We're at 3 runs, 6 hits, but even getting one more run if we can't get to 5 could be huge. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Got to get a hit or single, double, home run. Otherwise, if you don't get a hit, pretty soon you're approaching 0 for 40. Come on, Cal. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run and a K, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a run, base on ball and a K, right fielder, Luke Raley. And they might substitute Rob Refsnyder for him, depending on if it ends up being a lefty. We will find out here momentarily. It looks like they're going to bring in King. All right, Brian King. And Brian King is a lefty, so I assume that means no Luke Raley, and it will be Rob Refsnyder. All right, Brian King on the mound, another lefty. And we got Big Dumper batting from the right side in the box. And maybe that's what Cal needs, to bat from the other side. Cal, hard hit ball, left field. Oh, diving catch. And again, it looked like that was going to end up dropping for a big hit for Cal. But again, a big defensive play. And, sometimes you just need to be able to switch it up, and not everyone has the ability to be a switch hitter. But that was a nice hard hit ball by Cal. But unfortunately, good defense out there in left field by Zach Cole. And that is 1 away. Damn you, Zach Cole. Could have been a big, nice momentum. Uncle Mo could have ended up helping Cal out. I mean, things have not gone his way. And, sometimes being able to go from the left to the right or right to the left can really be huge. Good defense there by Zach Cole, 1 away. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch fouled off, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. One pitch, foul tip into the catcher's glove. Vasquez. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. I don't care who ends up getting us to 4, but if we can get there, that would be really big for us here. We need as much insurance as we can get. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off into right field, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out, top of the 9th. 3-1 Mariners. Let's go. And we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. I'm super excited. And then we got Bryce Miller making his MLB debut in 2026. Slow dribbler towards third. What a throw to first. And got him. Wow. Incredible defensive play there at third base by the Houston Astros. There it is. Playing offense and defense. I see you. Gobbling up everything there at third base. I see you, Isak. Randy grounds out to third. And normally it would be Luke Raley, but again, I mentioned we brought in a lefty, so this will be Rob Refsnyder. First pitch in there to Rob for a strike. 0-1 count. Let's go, Rob. Every once in a while, you can give us a little magic like this. 0-1 pitch, a little dribbler towards third base and foul. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 9th inning, 3-1 Mariners. And hopefully Mooney, if he gets in, he doesn't give up a run. And, if he does, hopefully it's only 1, not 2. We don't want to bat again. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball. And it's fair. There we go, Rob. There we go. And again, you never know, with guys like Rob Refsnyder and Connor Joe. But again, they've taken advantage of minimal opportunities. And even though Rob started off 0 for 20-ish, he's been much better, lately, when he's gotten some opportunities, just like Connor Joe. Nice job by Rob Refsnyder. I mean, if that was Luke Raley, Luke Raley might have not been able to get a hit there. Next up is J.P. Crawford. If JP hits a home run and we get to 5, that would be best case scenario, but First pitch in there for a ball to JP, 1-0 count. High and inside sinker, 91 miles an hour. 1-0 pitch from Brian King, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to JP Crawford. But again, when we go against left-handed pitching, Refsnyder and Joe are 2 of the guys that are a little bit more trustworthy compared to our regulars. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. A little bit of a mini meltdown here from Brian King. That doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. 3 balls and no strikes from King to Crawford. Walk rate leaders, and JP is top 5, believe it or not. 18.1% because of his patience. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. Taylor Ward, Nick Kurtz, Mike Trout, Brian Reynolds, and look at that. JP Crawford, 18.1%. I love guys that are patient in the box. I like guys that bunt as well. I love small ball. 3-1 pitch. JP takes another strike looking. Paisley still in here watching. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 9th. Little dribbler in the middle. Should be a routine play. Throw to first. And down goes JP. And that is the end of the Mariners in the top of the 9th, but at least we have a 2-run lead. And Andres Munoz, please, don't blow for us. I mean, we've had so many, opportunities for you. And if he was the regular Andres Munoz, we would have an above 500 record right now. At the very bare minimum, we would have our record flipped and we would be 22-19. But realistically, I think we would be, maybe 4 games or 5 games above 500. And we would be the 3rd best team in the American League with the Yankees and Rays, if Castillo and Mooney were good, on top of Cal being able to hit. But, it is what it is. But let's hopefully get a good version of Andres Munoz. I don't expect him to, strike out 3 guys and, win that way. But, if he gets 1 strikeout, a pop and a ground out, I don't think any of us would complain. But again, we'll know how good he is, based on the first 4 pitches. And then once we get through the first 4, it'll be that first 7 is usually that, number where you really understand where he's at. First 7 pitches, Andres Munoz, let's go. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Stros. And the first 7 pitches will determine how it goes for him. Next up, in the 8 hole, second baseman 1 for 3, Braden Shoemake. Batting second, 1 for 3, catcher in the 9-hole, Christian Vasquez. And batting third, 2 for 4 with a run and a K, second baseman, Jose Altuve. Trident's up. Let's go, Elms. Let's go, Mooney. Wu on the mound tomorrow, Miller on Wednesday, Castillo on Thursday. Gained another sub since our last commercial break. 85 subs to go to 24,100. We're at 100 on the dono train, 100 to go. $100 donation by Odin's son early in the broadcast. Thank you so much. And we're at 141 likes. Let's see if we can get 9 more to get to 150. $59 to 200. $16 games, 15 innings, 10 earned runs. He does have 25 strikeouts to 7 walks, but it feels like he's only done good maybe 2 times out of like 10 outings, and he's blown a lot of games. Connor Joe is in right field now. Ref Snyder hit for Rayleigh, but Joe is going to play the defense out there. And we'll know how good Mooney is in these first 7 pitches. Come on, Mooney. First pitch to Shoemake. There we go. In there for a strike. Looking. 0-1 count. Good start. Oh, 1 pitch. Little dribbler up the middle. JP, get it, JP. Throw to first. Got him. I was a little nervous there that was going to get past JP Crawford and he wasn't going to be able to get it in time. He's not Cole Young, but he was kind of the Cole Young before Cole Young. But again, nice job, JP. And with that short hop, gets it to Naylor, and that is 1 away. Great job, JP Crawford. Two more. Let him know, Ashley. 2 more. And now we got Zach DeZenzo pinch hitting. First pitch in there for a strike to DeZenzo. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Hard hit ball. Shallow center field. Staying in play. Julio is there. And that is 2 away. Let's go. No fly zone in effect. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez. And now they're down to their last batter. Jose Altuve on deck, Yordan Alvarez. So we have to make sure Altuve doesn't get off because, again, both guys have the ability to get hits and home runs, especially Yordan Alvarez. He's the home run guy. Altuve's usually the single and double guy, but, he will hit a homer from time to time. First pitch to Altuve, pops it up in foul territory. Oh! And he runs out of room. Josh Naylor misses it by about a foot. Leans over into the dugout, and it just out of reach. 0-1 count. That would have been an awesome way to end the game against our heated rivals. No team, do I enjoy more beating than this team. I don't care if they have a good record or a bad record. I love being able to beat the Yankees and, the Dodgers and the Braves and the Padres, like the really, really good teams in the American League and the National League. But from our own division, I get more joy beating the Astros than any other fucking team. I mean, I love beating the Rangers, and they obviously we usually play down to the Athletics and Angels and sometimes get our ass kicked, but I love beating up on the Astros when we have a chance. No balls and 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. 0-2 pitch, high and away. First pitch was fouled off by Altuve. Second pitch down the middle, change up looking, and then a pitch high and away here from Andres Munoz. And this has been the good Mooney so far. So we like that, but we got 1 more strike that we need. 1-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. Altuve over Cole Young's head. And it rolls to Julio. And now you end up having potentially the tying run aboard if Yordan does Yordan things. We can't have him homer here. We got to get Yordan Alvarez out. You know, Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez are a thorn in our side. You know, same thing with Jeremy Pena and Carlos Correa, but they're hurt. Altuve gets the big clutch base knock, going 3 for 5 today. And now we have Yordan Alvarez. Don't even dare think about hitting a home run or getting an RBI here. Come on, Mooney. First pitch to Alvarez. Fouls that one off. Little dribbler towards third base and foul. 0-1 count. Mooney on the mound. Alvarez in the box. Come on, Munoz. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yordan Alvarez. Come on, Mooney. One pitch to Alvarez. Big swing and a miss. Wow, he caught him off guard there. That was a terrible pitch. Low and into the dirt, and Alvarez swung at it. Awesome job. We got a little lucky there. Alvarez is shaking his head thinking, how did I swing at that? Come on, baby. Give us that good luck that we need. 1-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Mooney on the mound. Alvarez in the box. Mariner Moose going to give us the win. Let's go. Bottom of the 9th, runner at first, Jose Altuve with 2 outs. Mooney has looked overall good in this outing, which is rare in 2026. Time is called by Alvarez. 3-1 lead with a runner at first, Altuve with 2 outs. Mooney with a 1-2 count. We just need 1 more strike to get the strikeout or get a pop-up or a ground out. Come on, Mooney. 1-2 pitch from Mooney to Alvarez into the dirt. Cal off a 1-hop scoop. Good job there by Cal Raleigh. If he doesn't grab that scoop, Altuve goes from first to second. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Mooney. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That's strike 3, and the Mariners win. Woo! Here we go, baby. Big strikeout. You know, and again, based on how Mooney has played this year, you know, more times than not, if we got the Mooney early, you know, in the year, this could have easily been a tie game and he would have hit a 2-run jack. And I don't think any of us would have, you know, blinked an eye. We would just, oh, God, again, you know, and luckily we didn't have that happen. Ashley with a tour. Appreciate you. We're at 102 on the Dono train. 98 to go. And I'm going to go over the stats here momentarily. Final score, Seattle Mariners 3, Houston Astros 1. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win. Fuck yeah, let's go. All right, let's go over the stat line for both teams. This one feels good, you know, especially the way that Mooney has played this year. Not ideal, but he got the job done. All right, started off with the Astros. Jose Altuve had a great game, but when does he not, right? 3 for 5, 1 run. And obviously had that clutch hit there in the bottom of the 9th. Yordan Alvarez went 1 for 5, and we're really happy he did. Isak Paredes had a great game, 3 for 4 with an RBI. Christian Walker, 0 for 3. Zach Cole, 0 for 4. Cam Smith, 0 for 2. Bryce Matthews, 0 for 4. Braden Shoemake, 1 for 4. Christian Vasquez, 1 for 3. And then let's look at the final line here for the Mariners. Brendan Donovan, 0 for 4. That needs to improve. Julio Rodriguez, 2 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. And again, it's always great when Julio can hit a home run, especially with Cal struggling right now. Josh Naylor, 0 for 4, which is rare. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 4. And if he keeps going like this, I mean, it's going to be 0 for 36, 0 for 40, 0 for 44. At some point, you know, you got to be able to get going, and hopefully that's going to be tomorrow. Randy Arosarena, 2 for 4 with a run. Luke Rayleigh, 0 for 2. Rob Refsnyder came in and went 1 for 1, so that was great to see Rob do his thing. JP Crawford, 0 for 4, which is rare. Dominic Canzone, 1 for 3 with an RBI to kind of get us going early in the game. And Cole Young, 1 for 3 with an RBI, get us going in the game. And we had a great performance out of George Kirby, as well as our bullpen, right? Kirby, Davila, Criswell, Bizzardo, and Mooney. It was clean, right? We didn't give up any runs in the bullpen, and we only gave up 1 with George Kirby. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 99 pitches, 64 strikes. This is one of the best complete games we've seen from top to bottom. Davila ended up getting a K, didn't give up a run. Criswell comes up, gets a K, doesn't give up a run. Bizzardo gives up a walk, and we were like, uh-oh, right? But then he got 3 Ks after that, so he was clean. He ended up blowing the game for us yesterday against the White Sox, gave up the first home run of the year, but not today. Great job, Bizzardo. And then last but not least, the guy that we don't really trust very often ended up getting 1 K, gave up a hit to Altuve, got his ERA below 6 at least. He's at 5.63 now. And we ended up getting the dub. And of course, it would have been a little bit better if we could have gotten a 4 or 5, but at least we were able to get the win. Kirby improves to 5-2. Lambert takes the loss, and Mooney gets his 8th save. Awesome. It's always a happy day when we can end up beating our rivals. So again, 1 game at a time. And again, we got another game tomorrow with Brian Wu on the mound. And on Wednesday, another afternoon, evening game. Same time, same place, 5:10 Pacific, I believe, on the first 3 games here in the set. So Wu tomorrow. Bryce Miller making his 2026 debut on Wednesday. Super excited about that. I've been watching him in on the Tacoma Rainiers, and he's looked decent. He still might, make some mistakes and be a little raw, after this injury, but hopefully he pitches somewhat decent. And then we got Castillo on Thursday. So they are going to run a 6-man rotation for a week or 2, and then hopefully throw Castillo in the pen, because that would suit him better, not only for himself, but for us fans as well. So final score, Mariners 3, Astros 1. And let's take a quick look at where we're at on the subs and the likes. We hit 102 on the Dono train. Appreciate that. 85 subs away from 24,100. We're at 24,015. And let's look at our final like numbers here before we end the stream. And it looks like we're at 157. I appreciate you. All right, we're at 157 likes, 43 to get to 200. We had 102 on the Dono train because of Odin and Ashley. Appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, final score, Mariners 3, Astros 1. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I am out. Tridents up and go Mariners.